Okay, so I found this article. What's up, everybody? I'm the Sonoran Desert Grower, and today I want to share this article with y'all that I found from Kaicha Labs. It's entitled Corrupt Cannabis Testing Labs Are Spreading Like Wildfire. Now that America's favorite medicinal plant is legal in over half the nation, cannabis testing labs are popping up left and right. These operations are charged with keeping a tight leash on product potency, contaminants, and maintaining the overall safety of the market's green commodities. It's an important job, and it's one that we take pretty seriously. And while there are a lot of reputable, trustworthy labs doing their best to protect the health and public they serve, some aren't. Pay close enough attention, and there's always another lab in the news getting slapped with a fine or threatened with more permanent disciplinary action, loss of license, because they have been caught fudging the test results of cannabis samples. Some have passed products contaminated with mold, pesticides, and dangerous microbials. Others have been busted for falsely confirming THC levels. A lab in Arizona was recently fined $500,000 for pulling these shenanigans. According to a report from the Arizona Department of Health Services, the violations included the approval of products contaminated with pesticides, solvents, heavy metals, and E. coli and salmonella. To make matters worse, the agency found the violations were committed intentionally because they're making money. They're getting paid to uh, put out passing test results, and this is why it's so important to grow your own medicine. You cannot rely on these dispensaries for your medicinal needs. Like they don't care. They have a room that needs to get sprayed so they can bring it to market and sell it. They're just gonna find a crooked lab to give them the paperwork they need, or they're gonna dump it off at a dispensary that's not gonna require the paperwork. Unfortunately, this was not an isolated incident. Last year, the Washington, Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board suspended a lab's license for allegedly manipulating tasting data on more than 1,200 cannabis samples. The lab was reportedly providing higher THC numbers than what testing uncovered. It gets worse. A 2019 audit of Oregon's testing scheme found the safety of the state's cannabis products could not be guaranteed. The audit went on to say the state's testing program was inadequate and inefficient. And again, this is across the board. So if you're watching from another state, if you're not in Arizona, it doesn't mean it's any better in your state. Like Arizona in particular is very corrupt, but it's the same thing anywhere. Why are some labs reporting this honestly? Well, it's simple, really, and at the same time rather complex. For starters, Americans are obsessed with high potency cannabis. Not enough of the nation's cannabis consumers understand yet that there's more to the overall effect of cannabis product than just THC and CBD. High concentrations of THC are often viewed as the way to get more bang for the buck. So when a customer sees a strain at the dispensary with 45% THC, it has more value in their eyes than one with 19% THC, even though the one containing lower THC concentration might be a better overall product for their needs. And they'll pay handsomely too for the illusion of more potency. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. When you're growing your own, like the THC content of the flowers I'm growing is not an issue because I can just roll as many joints as I want. If one joint's not enough, then I'll just roll another. What's the big deal? I have a bunch of it. Like this is only gonna matter if you're broke and you're going to the dispensary every week and you're trying to get the strongest stuff to last you till next week. That's all that is. Once you're growing your own, this goes out the window. It's whatever. It's about flavor. Okay. Considering that the legal cannabis trade earned roughly 17 billion last year, cannabis firms know about their customers' obsession with THC. Companies fully understand that they can charge more for products containing higher THC concentrations, even if the concentration is false, and generate more profits. The consumer gets suckered since they have been trained to blindly trust that's what's on any label is gospel. They have faith that government agencies like the U.S. Food and Drug Administration have strict enough regulations to ensure their protection. But the FDA is not yet looking out for the cannabis consumer like they do those who buy produce over the counter medications, which make it tougher to weed out the bad seeds when it comes to the growing number of shady operations getting into the business of bud. Unfortunately, while KCHA Labs is accredited by the International Standards Organization and operates under additional standards set forth by many other reputable agencies, many testing labs are not. This is what sets KCHA Labs apart. Our, our operation must adhere to specific measures to maintain these accreditations. The cannabis industry does not mandate we hold these certifications, but they are a part of our company's devotion to our testing process. According to Forbes, the industry should require accreditation among labs to stave off further corruption in the marketplace. Something falsifying lab data should be a crime. It should be a crime. And you should have all these accreditations too, but it is not. Therefore, corrupt labs all over the country are cheating the consumer and infecting the integrity of the marketplace with impunity. It's a situation that is becoming increasingly problematic, and it's one where the entire industry is to blame. Growers, processors, and manufacturers are all on the prowl for a lab that can deliver the best results. As we pointed out previously, not all testing labs are created equal. Unethical operations are willing to skew testing results in order to secure contracts and steal clients away from reputable services. They'll do anything to survive. Yeah, money corrupts. And when there's a tons of money and you're a grower and you know that your facility is always going to have mold, you're going to find that lab that's going to test your products and have them pass. Interestingly, a report from MJ Biz Daily suggests that there are labs out there willing to provide cannabis operations with any result necessary to secure their business. Yeah. Need that crop to show negative results for pesticides? Sure, no problem. Wanted to test 20 points higher for potency? You bet. We got you. Industry insiders say that these underhanded deals happen because there's no incentive to play by the rules. After all, running a cannabis testing lab is a costly endeavor and the clientele is limited. Testing equipment is super expensive and staffing the business with qualified scientists isn't cheap either. It takes a long time for cannabis testing labs to become profitable. Therefore, some labs have presumably adopted the take the money and run philosophy and will help cannabis businesses get their products to market at any cost. That is exactly what's going on. There's just so much money wrapped up into everything that, and there's no incentive to do the right thing. The right thing does not make you money. The right thing does not mean that your bank account's gonna be going up at the end of the month, right? And that is what folks on the ground, like people that are not in the industry, do not understand. As for the lab in Arizona, state regulators found machines were not properly calibrated to detect contamination levels. There was missing documentation regarding inventory disposal and maintenance. To add insult to injury, employees were able to were also being trained to use a technique that inflated THC levels. The agency says the lab had 3 times as many violations as any other lab in the past year. Any further offenses and the lab risks permanently losing its license. Some believe tighter restrictions and standardized testing methods will alleviate some deceitful practices. Others think the stricter enforcement will do the rest. Nevertheless, any solution will take time. Listen, no one wants to deliver bad data, but without holding cannabis firms accountable for their products, the market suffers further deterioration and becomes a cesspool of bad behavior. Protecting the health and safety of the public is our primary mission. All right, I'm not going to read the rest of it. Yes, so you can't trust these labs, man. You just can't. And especially in Arizona, there's already been 2 labs within the past couple years that have been busted for um, intentionally selling misleading results and for inflating THC numbers. So you can pretty much go to these dispensaries and pay so that your moldy weed does not test for mold, so that your pesticide does not come up on the test, so that your THC levels are up high in the high 20s, or that is what is happening. That's been what's happening. So you cannot trust, even if you go into a dispensary and you ask for the test results and they give them to you, that is not even a guarantee that it's real. And that's what's crazy about the industry. And that is why it's so important for you to do for self and grow your own. The only way you can ensure you're not paying to poison yourself is to grow your own medicine. And if you want to grow your own medicine and you don't know how, check out my Patreon community, www.patreon.com/the Sonoran Desert Grower. And at the fungi tier, my mycelium crew, they have access to over 8 hours of tutorials for Prop 207. And I have a full-on workshop that takes you from seed to harvest and all organic, all clean. Um, so I encourage you to check that out. All the resources are there. I have my own I have a grow journal that documents my process and how I grow my own medicine at the fungi level on the Patreon community. It's exclusive content and it's for folks that are serious and they really want to learn how to do this. So check that out. All the information is out there. All the information exists for you to become independent. And this is the main reason why I've been growing my own for years and I stay out of the dispensary system because you just can't. It's unfortunate because it would be nice to go and be able to trust that you're not ingesting some crazy pesticide or some crazy mold or salmonella or whatever, but you can't. So you have to do for self. If you like this video, please subscribe, share, comment, check out the Patreon community. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.